Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my overview on all of the Black Mage updates coming to 14 in Dawntrail. I was recently given the opportunity to try the expansion out early, including checking out all those job changes. So be sure to take a look at all of the job videos I put out. There's a link to a playlist in the description, so you won't have trouble finding them. Bit of housekeeping, reminder that Dawntrail is still in development and is still subject to changes. So don't be surprised if anything is different from what you see now to what you see in early access. Now, Black Mage has seen a significant amount of changes at all levels. It may look very similar on the surface, but seasoned players will recognize the more nuanced effects of many of the changes. Let's start with stuff that'll be different as soon as you log in for Dawntrail. First, the way Black Mages regenerate MP has completely changed. Instead of Umbral Ice restoring MP every few seconds on the server tick, you now generate MP upon landing an Ice spell while under the effect of Umbral Ice. At Umbral Ice 1 and 2, you only generate 5,000 MP or 2,500 at the really early levels. But at Umbral Ice 3, you generate the whole 10,000 MP. So one Blizzard 4 will mean you're good in most scenarios, but Transpose might be a little rougher around the edges if you need to use it for just a panic swap. As such, Umbral Soul now grants you MP in the same fashion for downtime phases. Every time you use it, you'll get a chunk of MP back. However, it only gives 2,500 MP at Umbral Ice 1, 5,000 at 2, and 10,000 at 3. Fortunately, it raises your Umbral Ice level with each use, and odds are you'd want to use it 3 times during most downtime scenarios as is for the hearts. Speaking of Umbral Soul, Despair will actually become Umbral Soul on your hotbar now as well, unless of course you want to separate the two for muscle memory or whatnot. Fire 4 and Blizzard 4 will also do the same thing, so they also don't need to be separate buttons on your hotbar anymore. Next, the Thundercloud trait has been completely removed. In its place, you now gain the Thunderhead buff for 30 seconds anytime you initially enter Astral Fire or Umbral Ice, or whenever you swap between the two. Thunder spells require Thunderhead to cast, meaning that all your Thunder spells are now instant cast and they're all based on these Thunderhead procs. Their potencies have been adjusted accordingly. There's no longer that really low amount of initial damage and then the huge burst of damage whenever you get a proc. They just have flat values that you'll always be experiencing every time you cast them. This ensures an instant cast Thunder very often in your rotation, and you'll no longer be hard casting them at all. Paradoxes also had several updates. For one, it's now only available upon entering Astral Fire while under the effect of Umbral Ice 3 and having 3 Umbral Hearts. So there's no more Ice Paradox at all. However, the Fire Paradox is now instant cast and also automatically procs Firestarter without needing a sharp cast or random proc. Now, speaking of sharp casts, it's gone. Kind of excessive when most of the proc systems are gone as well, though Firestarter does still exist at the lower levels with that 40% fire proc chance. Finally, Mana Font has had a ton of effects added to it. It now grants the full 10,000 MP upon use, instantly grants the Thunderhead proc, provides another use of Paradox, and grants 3 Umbral Hearts. It's basically a full reset for Astral Fire, allowing you to do your full fire rotation a second time. So all of that is super important, and that's before even factoring in the post-90 changes. Like the other casters, it gets enhanced Swift Cast at level 94, reducing the ability's cooldown to 40 seconds, as well as enhanced Addle, which extends the debuff's duration to 15 seconds. It also gets some more Black Mage exclusive traits. Enhanced Enochian 4 at level 96 increases Enochian's damage bonus to 30%, and Enhanced Polyglot 2 at 98 provides a third stack of Polyglot, which we all kind of saw coming, but damn. That's a lot of Polyglot. Now for brand new skills above level 90, first you'll start with Thunder Mastery 3 at level 92. This will simply update your Thunder spells into High Thunder for single target and High Thunder 2 for AoE. They otherwise function exactly the same, or at least in line with the Thunderhead changes that I mentioned earlier. At level 96, Black Mages learn Enhanced Ley Lines. This will cause the Ley Lines button to change after it is activated into Retrace. Retrace allows you to move your ley lines to your current location a single time throughout its duration. This opens up a whole lot more movement tech, or at the very least makes it that if you need to move during a mechanic during your 2-minute window, you can at least at some point bring your ley lines with you. Really curious to see how some of the fight tech ends up working for this, but remember, you can only use it once per ley line, so don't misuse it. Finally, at level 100, you get Enhanced Astral Fire. This causes Fire 4 and Flare to grant a new buff, Astral Soul. Fire 4 grants 1 stack of Astral Soul, and Flare grants 3. At 6 stacks, you'll be given the ability to cast Flare Star. This is a 350 potency fire AoE with a 60% fall off. Now remember, 350 seems low, but don't forget that number is amplified by Astral Fire. It's actually 10 potency higher than Despair on that first target hit, with the same cast time as well. So you'll be casting this at the end of all of your fire phases. These Black Mage changes are going to be a bit of a divisive discussion amongst players until we see what the long-reaching results of these changes will be. Many were already upset at the loss of the mana tick for Umbral Ice from the live letter, because it meant that certain high-level tech would no longer be possible. However, Black Mage has always been a highly skill-expressive job, and its players are quite big-brained, so I'm curious to see what a full-time veteran Black Mage player is able to extrapolate from these updates and changes. For the average player who may just occasionally dabble in Black Mage or may just want to try it for the first time, this should provide some ease of use in a lot of places. So, overall, I say it's a win for Black Mages, but we'll see what the pros have to say. But anyway, that's going to be a wrap for my video on the Black Mage changes in Dawntrail. Be sure to like and subscribe, check out all of those other videos that I mentioned in the playlist in the description, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care.